back on Poke Nation. I don't even know who's here anymore. I don't know what he swears says he's at some athletic director's conference. I don't know what he really does for a job. He just kind of floats in and out of here when he wants to be. Matt Bonnette, thanks for joining us.
I'm going to start charging for my time.
You should. You should. A lot of things happening this week. Kerry Joseph goes into the Louisiana Hall of Fame last week. We'll talk about that, but to start on a sad note, Johnny Sidham passing.
Yeah.
Long time, one of the voices of McNeese football. Really a part of the community for a long, long time, part of the history of McNeese.
Absolutely. No, he passed away late Sunday night. He'd been in a care facility, and his health had been deteriorating over the years. But, yeah, just a tremendous person. You know, he was a baseball coach, head baseball coach at McNeese, assistant football coach back in the 70s and 80s. And then, you know, he ran the Burton Coliseum for a while as well. But he's been a huge part of this community, and, I mean, just a tremendous ambassador for McNeese athletics and McNeese State University in general. So it's really sad to hear about his passing. You know, some great stories about him. Some great stories from his radio days as well.
Yeah.
He was one that didn't hold his tongue, that's for sure. And
no, he was one. Right now, he would be called very colorful. He was one of those guys that was very colorful.
Yeah. But he was always fun to be around. He made everybody laugh. And, you know, he's just a wonderful person. He's really going to be missed a lot.
And he was a McNeese fan.
Absolutely.
He was McNeese. True and true.
As blue and gold as you can get. I mean, I went to his house one day, he invited me to his house, and his house was like a McNeese museum with everything he had, from photos to trophies to rings. I mean, just all kind of McNeese memorabilia that he had accumulated over the years. It was really like its own museum.
And like I said, classic stories about him that could go on for years.
Absolutely.
Some can be told.
Some
can't be told.
But yes, no, he always made a point that to try to make people laugh, and I think that's what made him the happiest, was seeing people laugh. You know, because he liked to laugh, he liked to have fun, and it's going to be sad not having him around.
Yeah, sad news. But on to some better news. Kerry Joseph, probably the best quarterback all time at McNeese.
Right.
Arguably, at least, holds records, first and second in just about everything. Now with Seattle, former offensive coordinator at McNeese who came back here and coached. He will go into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame next year. Right. Tell me about his, because you probably told him the news because you're on the board.
Yeah, we did. The voting was. It was almost unanimous for him to go in. There are 35 committee members that vote on the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and we meet every August. And it was great. So whenever he got voted in, I called him right then and there and had him on speakerphone, and he was just over the moon. He told me later that day when he called his mom and told her, you know, he brought tears to his eyes. His mom was so excited. But, you know, he was an outstanding athlete, not in just football, but he also threw the javelin for McNeese.
He said that.
He scored in the Southland Conference meet. In high school, he was a great baseball player. He played basketball. He did everything. Just a great athlete. And as good an athlete as he is, he's an even better person. Just a wonderful person. He loves McNeese. He comes back here every chance he gets, even though he's up there in Seattle right now coaching for the Seahawks. But he'll be back in town in a couple weeks during their open date. So, it's a great honor for him, obviously, but it's a great honor for McNeese as well.
Yeah, that shows that McNeese is a part of Louisiana more than people think, because he got in so easily. But also, he's having his birthday party on campus, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He's talking to him, he's very close to what the Cowboys are doing,
Absolutely.
Still very interested in what they're doing,
Yeah.
Still a very, very much a part of the program. For the program itself to get somebody in like that, what does it mean just for the attention?
I think it's great, especially he's going in with Drew Brees and Simone Augustus. So this Hall of Fame class is going to get some of the most attention it's ever gotten. Last year you had Eli Manning go in, and a few years before then Peyton Manning went in. So when you're able to go in with a class with high-profile names like that and like Drew Brees this year, it's going to bring a lot of attention to the class, but it's going to bring a lot of attention to Carey. And I know that there are a lot of people in town and in this area that still love Carey and love to see him go in, and they're very excited for him. And I think it's going to be a well-attended event, not only because Drew Brees, but you're going to have a lot of people there for Carey.
Yeah, and he was one of a really group of quarterbacks that is a two-way threat.
Yeah,
he could throw the ball,
absolutely.
He could run the ball, but he took McNeese to some high levels of competition too.
Yeah, he did. You know, he was part of the first. He was part of the team that won the very first postseason game.
Yeah.
Playoff game for McNeese. On the team, the '95 team, which I still say is probably the best team ever in McNeese history. Semifinals lost to Marshall, who was quarterbacked by Chad Pennington.
Yeah.
So,
You had Chad Pennington and Randy Moss would go there later on,
Yeah.
but that just shows you what kind of a program they had.
Absolutely.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Bailey Tillman of volleyball at McNeese. Just got her 1,000th career dig. Got to give her a shovel.
oh yeah, the golden one.
We'll be right back after this on Poke Nation.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Go. Everywhere I go.
When you're knocked down, sometimes it might take a little longer to get back up again. But even still, know that you will. To the problem solvers, those who knocked the dust off and started over, we're glad you're still here. We're thankful we're all still here. Since 1907, we've been your Louisiana bank, your community bank. And together, we're getting back closer to normal every day. It's our heritage. It's who we are. And that's what makes Evangeline, well, Evangeline.
At Lakeside Bank, we specialize in stress-free banking services. Now you can stress less with our Great Escape Spa giveaway. One winner a month can unwind with a relaxing spa package from Scarborough's Salon and Day Spa. Then, in December, we'll give away a luxurious relaxation trip for two to Miraval Resort in Arizona. Now that's stress-free. Register today at any Lakeside banking location. Stress less at Lakeside Bank.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. Joining us now is Cowgirl standout volleyball player Bailey Tillman. Bailey, thank you for joining us today. First off, you know, you're reigning Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Week. You had an outstanding week last week for the Cowgirls, and the week before as well. You know, going through and you're in conference play now. You know, tied for first place in the loss column. You got a big stretch coming up that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But first, for people that maybe don't know too much about volleyball, like the specifics and the rules and everything like that, you only see it on TV or in person, kind of talk to us about the art of digging. You know, what does it take? What do you look for? What do you focus on to get that dig out?
So in defense, I think we talked about this earlier, defense is a mind game. I think, yes, you have to have a physical ability, but the mental aspect of it is really hard as well. Just reading where the hitter's arm is going, looking at where the block is, everything, and then making that move. Reaction time is very important in digging. But I told him earlier, I'm going to do anything to get the ball up, regardless if my body's in the bleachers or if I'm running into a wall, I'm going to get the ball up. So I love defense.
Now, how long have you always been a defensive player, and when did you start playing volleyball?
Yes, so I've been playing volleyball. This is 12, going on 13 years. So I started whenever I was 8 years old, and I've always been a defender because I've always been short. So that's always been my go-to position.
Okay.
You got your 1,000th career dig.
Yes.
That's quite an achievement. But you're diving all over the place. Going to the crowd, getting hurt, kind of a football mentality. Does that come from your father, Spencer Tillman?
Oh, of course. He always tells me, "You're my little running back," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." But yes, I think just the perseverance and like the ability to just want the ball is just, it comes within, and it's in my DNA. Obviously, my dad was like that. He played through injuries all the time, so I think that I'm gonna do anything to get that ball up.
But you are, when you're diving around, you're trying to save as many points as you can, but get the ball back so you guys get points. How important is it when you do that to kind of get the crowd going too? Because when you're diving into the crowd, the energy kind of comes up. Do you feel like you're a part of that and you kind of drive the energy?
Yes, I think that defense, I'm a firm believer of defense wins games. So whenever we do make those plays, or I make those plays, and the crowd is like, oh, and they're cheering and everything, it just makes me more motivated to make even more plays. Because at the end of the day, I want to do anything to put myself in a good position and also my teammates in a good position to score the point.
Now, people have seen a lot of you lately because you want to be a TV person, like you've kind of got father's footsteps. The Southland Conference has taken advantage of that and put you in a lot of positions.
Yes.
What do you think about TV? Because you did some TV media for the Southland Conference Football Media Day. What do you think about a TV career?
I think TV career would be awesome. I mean, my major is mass communication with a concentration in sports entertainment. So I think that the TV world and just that side of it is so interesting, and there's just so much more I'm eager to learn. I'm learning about it now, but obviously there's more that I want to learn. So.
Talking about your dad a little bit, I know you probably hear about it all the time. I know your dad is Spencer. He's got a tremendously busy schedule right now as well because of calling football games nationally on TV. How often do you hear from him, and does he ever get to see you play in person?
Yeah, so I try to talk to him at least every day on the phone, whether that's him going on the plane, like on the way to a game. He called me last week when he was on the way to the USC and Stanford football game, and he just gave me some little tokens of advice and just encouragement because I had a game that day. I think he's actually going to try to come next week whenever we recognize my 1,000th pick, so
great.
maybe that would be something that I'll be able to see him, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
Great.
Did you get a shovel with that day, dear?
Oh, a shovel? I should. I should
That's
get
not
a
a bad
shovel.
idea, you know?
Does he critique your TV? Did he critique your TV?
Yes, when we did the football media day, actually, he was like, "You did great, Bailey," and I was like, "Thanks, I get it. I wonder who I get it from." So yeah.
You're in a different role this year on this team because in the past you've kind of grown with this team and seen kind of the evolution of McNeese volleyball. Now you're one of the leaders. You're one of the captains of the team. Talk about that role and how it's changed this year for you.
I think so. Last year I wasn't a captain, but I was still one of those people that was on the court majority of the time. This year I am a captain, so I have been stepping into bigger shoes and filling that role. I think that it's more important than ever because we do have such a young team, and they're constantly looking for people to look up to, not only on the court but off the court as well too. So I think that me and the other two captains, Nada and Kendall, have just done a great job of leading those younger people into the right direction.
Now, you have a big stretch coming up here in the next couple of weeks where 3 of your next 4 opponents are right there tied with you with 1 loss in the standings. How, for this week, you have Lamar coming up on Thursday, who has yet to win a match all season. But then you go to Southeastern, who is in first place with you. How big is it as a leader to make sure that the team's not looking ahead to Southeastern and focus on Lamar right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is just focusing what's in front of us and then worrying about the wins later. Obviously, Southeastern's going to be a tough game. Lamar is going to be a tough game. I think that we just can't take any team lightly. So I think just going in with lots of confidence and then just staying true to who we are.
You guys this year not sneaking up on anybody like last year when you kind of surprised some people, made a run. What's the difference about being kind of the hunted this year compared to doing the hunting?
I think it's just more pressure applied. I think that it's actually better for us because now we're kind of like the underdogs. People don't think that McNeese is going to make it. We got ranked 4th in the preseason poll, so I think it's just we're hungry for more. We want to do better, and that's every day, whether that's from practice, study hall, everything. We're going to do everything to the best of its ability. So.
We'll come back on Poke Nation. We'll have more with Bailey Tillman after this.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Are you looking for high quality and affordable furniture but don't know where to look? Hi, I'm Justin Guidry, owner of Guidry's Warehouse Furniture, where you can get all the brands you know and love. Where you can buy home furniture that complements your style. Where we have lots of financing options, including no credit needed financing.
Where we deliver.
Stop by Guidry's Warehouse Furniture.
Where we make your house a home.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier, Greg Brooks,
Kyron Lacy. Whether on the field, in the community, or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference. Bet. Let's get it done.
We're back with Bailey Tillman, McNeese State volleyball player of the week last week in the Southland Conference, got her 1,000th dig last week as well. You said earlier today, talking to me about why you like McNeese and why you've stayed at McNeese through the years with all the Porto stuff and that it's really a family atmosphere, but you really like the campus. Talk about that. What does the campus mean to you?
I think for me personally, I love getting involved, whether that's like just doing community service, just getting my name out there as much as I can. I think Lake Charles and like McNeese in general does a great job of like welcoming people and making people feel home, especially the ones that are far away from home.
What does that mean for this team? Because you talked a lot about a couple of years ago it wasn't as close a team. You see it develop into a family type team under your coach. What's the difference now with this team? Because it's a very young team.
It's a very young team, and we have people from all over. We have a ton of internationals, at least like 4 internationals from France, Bosnia, just everywhere. So I think it's important that they have somewhere they can go to where it feels like home, but it's not really their home. And I think that Sasha and like the coaching staff has done an amazing job of just welcoming everyone and making sure they have like a place and people to feel welcome.
Kind of talk a little bit about being a student athlete, because you are a student first.
Yes.
And a lot of people just don't understand the time that you put in as a student athlete. Just kind of, if you could take us through one of your days.
So I have classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't have classes Tuesday, Thursday, but I use Tuesday, Thursdays as my days to like catch up because I know I have a game that week. I don't have study hall hours, but for the ones that do have study hall hours, I know it's tough because some of them have 2, 4, 6, 8, some even 10 hours. So it's important to balance it out and just plan ahead, because we have some days where we're gone from Wednesday to Saturday and you have to plan ahead. So just getting stuff done early is probably one of the main things that I try to do.
And then on top of your school, you still have to have practice and workouts and all that kind of stuff.
5 a.m. workouts, practice for 3 hours, film, captain's meeting. So it's like a lot of stuff.
So you go, so 5 a.m. workout, so you're up at what, between 4 and 4:30?
Yeah, 4:30 we had.
And then you're probably not in bed until well into the night.
Yep. At night I do my work. We have weights at 5 in the morning, practice 1 to 4. Sometimes we have film after that, and then we have community service after that, and then I get to go home and go to sleep. So
That's a long day.
Yeah.
One thing you guys do this now, which is different from when I was a student, you have a lot of online classes opportunities. I would be confused with that because I'd put everything off until the last week.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because that now almost kind of fits into, is that better for an athlete because you can do it while you're on the road, or is it tougher?
I think somewhat of both. I have 2 online classes. I learn better in person for certain subjects. So math, I learn better in person. Online, I think it's very convenient because you can do it on the road, and then some of them are like your own pace classes. So I think that helps me a lot. Whenever it's your own pace, you can just do it whenever you want, and then the due date is like in October or like November or something. So it's like you don't have to worry about it at that moment.
I'd be in pain in the last week and a half of that. But the one thing you guys did this year, played a lot of big schools to start the year.
Yes.
Talk about that atmosphere, and how can that help you as you play down the road and when you get into tournaments, because you've been in atmospheres that are pressure.
Mm-hmm. So I think one of our biggest tournaments that we played in was against BYU, and I was telling him earlier that I just had to soak in the atmosphere because it's like there's like 8,000 to 10,000 people there, and it's like we don't get that at McNeese, so I had to soak it in. Even during the play, I was like, wow, this is like crazy. Like everyone was just looking around, but I think it's definitely prepared us for conference because although we were exposed and we didn't have necessarily the outcome that we wanted, we have that dog mentality now whenever it comes to, you know, our conference teams because we have seen so much bigger hitters and stuff like that. So I think that it's prepared us for the best.
You're 3-1 in league play right now. You got 4 of your next 5 in the Legacy Center. Explain what it's like to play in the Legacy Center. It is a nice, compact arena, and you get a lot of fans in there. It's loud. And kind of compare it to some of the other arenas in the league and maybe some of the others you've been into. Obviously, BYU is going to be, but more of the size and region of McNeese.
I think the size of the gym is small, but then, like you said, it's more compact. So the more people we have, the louder it gets. And it's just a fun environment to play in. Like last week we had a Greek night and everyone was here, student appreciation night. So whenever it's packed, I feel like the environment is just more, it's fun to play in and it's more exciting. So I love it.
You guys get probably the best crowd in the conference though, right?
I think so, especially for our gym size. I think it's awesome. I think when you have a bigger gym, you have like less people. It sounds weird, but like Southeastern, there's probably less people but bigger gym. So
what is it going to take this year to finish what you guys did last year? You got to the tournament deep. What did you learn and what can you accomplish this year?
I think one thing I learned is to not take teams for granted. Don't think that they're one-dimensional team. Anyone is capable of beating anyone, especially in the Southland Conference. I've learned that. But I think in order to continue that and fulfill that, maybe even get Southland Conference champions, is just to stay true to what we know works and then just keep doing it and applying it and being confident within ourselves.
Bailey Tillman, captain, McNeese State Volleyball. Play Lamar on Thursday night, then go to Southeastern for a showdown with first place. On the line, going to get your 1,000 digs celebrated in a week or so.
Yes.
Big time's coming up for you. Thanks for joining us on Poke Nation. We'll be back and get Matt's final thoughts after this.
Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done. Car wreck, done. Personal injury, done. Workers' comp, done. Truck wrecks, done. Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done.
We're back on Poke Nation. Interesting, Bailey has a lot of things going on.
Oh, yes, she does.
TV, everything.
Yeah, you see what these student athletes do, and
they're a lot more than it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk a little bit about a former athlete here, Robert McIntyre.
Yeah.
Former golfer at McNeese, helps the European team win the Ryder Cup. He goes 2-0-1.
Yep.
You were talking a little bit about him. What do you think about his weekend?
I thought he had a great weekend. He only got to play in 3 matches. He played on 2 4-ball matches and then a singles match on Sunday. To win 2 of them and break even on another without a loss, that says a lot about
2.5 points.
Absolutely, that says a lot about his play. And it looked for a little while there on Sunday that the deciding point might come down to his match. Yeah. So it was great to see that success that he had because, like we were talking about a little while ago, with a 2-0-1 record in 2 years when the Ryder Cup comes back to the U.S. to play, if he doesn't automatically qualify like he did this past year, that captain's going to look at that 2-0-1 record and have it.
He's going to be a captain.
That'll be attractive for a captain's pick.
Yeah, for a captain's pick, and especially if you go 2-0-1 and you have a partner that likes you and he's qualified.
Yeah. yeah.
He can throw in and say, hey, this worked last time.
You're watching the videos from Sunday night after the match, after they had won it, and the videos of the team on their bus and everything, and in the hotel. You can tell that he's got a great relationship with them. I mean, he's on the bus singing a song and all that, and they're all cheering along with him. So I think he was very well. He's very well respected among golfers, but he was very well accepted with that group, and so that speaks a lot for him. And now he's trying to get his PGA card. So I think you have to finish in the top 20 in the DP Tour standings in the earnings, and right now he's number 10. So if you finish in the top 20, he's going to earn his PGA card, and so he can play majority of his tournaments over here, and that's where the real money is.
That's where a lot more money over here.
But it's great for him, and it's really great for McNeese as well.
But it's also interesting to see. It seems to mean more to the Europeans.
It does.
Until we lose a couple.
Right.
When we lose a couple of those Ryder Cups, then Americans start to say, hey, we got to win this thing, and that's when it gets really fun.
It's a different crowd. If you watched it over the weekend, the crowd was something else. I mean, I mentioned to you, it's like a Happy Gilmore crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Spieth hits one in the water, and the crowd goes crazy cheering for it. I mean, that's what I like, really.
Well,
I mean, when I'm playing with my buddies, they hit a bad shot. I don't do it out loud, but underneath, I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's like the Phoenix Open every year. It's Phoenix Open. You get that once a year at the one hole. Right. This week, the Rockets are back.
Yeah.
Houston Rockets coming for training camp to open training camp for the third time in the Legacy Center. That's 3 times since the place opened. They must like the place.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's great to get some people like that into our arena. I think it says a lot about what the pros, what they
Well, they wouldn't come here if their union wouldn't let them.
Absolutely.
The GM wouldn't let them unless it was a first-rate facility.
Absolutely. So, we've got the locker rooms, you got the training room, you got the weight room now.
The weight room now.
So you got the 3 practice gyms, and so it's really big to have them here. They'll be here for 3 days, and who knows what it could lead to? Maybe a preseason game or something.
Well, that's been the talk, that there would be a preseason game, maybe them and the Pelicans one day here.
Yeah.
And that'd be fun to see because it would bring a lot of attention to the area.
Yeah.
But it's something that people would then get. It does seem like the Rockets are interested in partnering with McNeese more and more every year.
Yeah, I think so. And the thing about it is they're great. They're great to be around. My office is right here in the Legacy Center, and I walk out there and watch them. They don't ever say anything. Oh, you can't be in here or anything. So, no, they're great to be around, and it'll be fun to have them back. And you're right. I think it's a partnership that I think can continue to grow.
And that's, of course, that the owner of the Rockets owns the Golden Nugget Casino, which is why they're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why they're here mainly. But it shows that he wants to be a part more of the community, and that's a good thing to see because you're always looking for partners in the community.
Without a doubt.
All right, football.
Yeah.
0-5.
Yeah.
Goes to Commerce this week. The second straight week where it's 2 winless teams playing.
Yeah.
But then you get a week off. Then you're home for 2 weeks, including a homecoming week coming up. A chance for them to kind of get right a little bit. Want to see progress, but you want to see them kind of start to make some moves, don't you? Just something to build on.
Absolutely. I really believe the Nichols game, we did not get outplayed, I didn't think. I had more yardage than them. And just mistakes, turned the ball over, penalties, things like that really hurt us. It takes time. I know people want to win now, but you got to look at it that, Coach Goff, this is his first year with all his players. I told you yesterday that, or Sunday, that the last time McNeese was going through a complete rebuild, it was the 83 to the 90. See, eight seasons. Went through 4 head coaches then. The 4th head coach was Bobby Keesler. We see what happened there.
Yeah.
Well, now it's another 8-year process. We're on the 8th year of trying to rebuild. And 4 head coaches, and Coach Goff is the 4th head coach. So you got to give him time. I think he just needs to stay the course. Keep doing what he's doing. And the Cowboys are going to get back. They're going to get back to the top.
Well, we'll see about that when we come back. Poke Nation, we'll see you next week.